They say the devil needs no introduction. As much as he is a biblical character, much of the lore embraced in Western culture originated from John Milton's Paradise Lost or Dante's Inferno. Everyone has their own idea of who they think the devil is. Most films and television don't bother with an origin story. It's almost like it's assumed that everyone, everywhere knows who he is, where he came from, and his motivations. Even Satan's on-screen supernatural powers just happen and almost come with no explanation. We all bring our assumptions or expectations of who and what the devil is, as found in movies and film. Likewise, as found in the Ninth Gate, there is no single idea of the devil as either. In fact, there are several told through its characters: Boris Balkan, Baroness Kessler, and Lyanna Teler. Each is somewhat different, and even contradicts one another. So let's discuss. As always, the alternative theories mentioned within may cause anxiety, rage, and disbelief, but that's why you're here, I hope. And kindly consider leaving a like, share, or subscribe if you enjoy this video. Boris Balkan. Look past his horn-rimmed glasses and terrible choices of security codes. Boris Balkan is a man of knowledge. He writes, publishes, and lectures his work. Balkan is not shy leveraging his influence. While he has money, what he didn't have was that one book to complete his collection. Although his devotion is easily presumed, Balkan coyly describes the devil as his protagonist. There is at least an attempt at some mystery posing to follow the journeys of his favorite character. His collection and the wisdom they hold are apocryphal, not yet accepted by the mainstream because it's too different. Self-appointed societal curators restrict or conceal evidence of history that doesn't conform to norms. Balkan doesn't reveal exactly what he feels of the devil early. As an academic or philosopher, he reveals three things. He does his research. He lectures who the devil is not. Finally, monologues who the devil is. Balkan the philosopher is seen from the beginning. It is consistent with his character. He is first and last seen, giving lectures based on years, if not decades, of research and self-discovery. The postcard Corso stumbles across in Kessler's library is another piece of evidence that Balkan has long participated in his search for the devil. Balkan the preacher makes his appearance crashing Lyanna's coven and assumes a role of moral authority. He waves the book in front of his captured audience, who are followers in their house of worship, complete with a ceremony of chanting phrases. As much as we look forward to understanding who the devil is, Balkan first lectures who he is not.
I'll tell you. A bunch of buffoons in fancy dress. What are you expecting? An apparition? I'm the only apparition you'll see tonight. You really think the Prince of Darkness would deign to manifest himself to the likes of you? He never has, and he never will. Never. You read from his book, yes, but you have no conception of its true power. I alone have grasped its secret. I alone have fathomed the Master's grand design. I alone am worthy to enjoy the fruits of that discovery. Absolute power to determine my own destiny.
Balkan seeks something much more deep than his contemporaries. He believes there are secrets he alone unlocked, those of the Master's grand design. I've referenced Balkan's dialogue from the script that explains his motivations and beliefs in better detail. When Corso followed Balkan in the castle, he walked into the middle of a ritual, with Balkan reciting,
The number 9, which holds the final secret, the mystery of mysteries. The serpent is the beast that always sleeps with one eye open, and is reflected in the mirror of knowledge. 8 engravings plus 1, or 1 plus 8. Which coincides with the number that St. John of Patmos attributed to the beast, 666.
When Corso made his presence known, Balkan lectures the meanings of the 9 engravings.
9 engravings or 9 doors, and only an initiate can open them. Each door has 2 keys, Each engraving discloses a number, a secret element and keyword, to be interpreted in the light of reason and the Kabbalah, the one true philosophy. You have before you the mystery of which men have dreamed throughout the centuries. Thousands have died an agonizing death in hopes of just a glimpse of what you're about to see.
The Kabbalah is a form of Jewish mysticism that focuses on understanding the hidden or esoteric aspects of the Torah and Jewish tradition. Because of its esoteric nature, its teachings are not meant to be shared with everyone. It has created a mystique, making it a subject of fascination. This piece of trivia, excluded from the final film, is an example of how far Balkan did his research. He looked for lights of reason from history that isn't shared openly. Corso asks if Balkan will make the devil appear. Now we are told what Balkan believes.
Don't be ridiculous. He has never appeared to anyone. Never. He's a spirit, the spirit of pure evil. He manifests himself through his servants, of whom I'm proud to be one.
We understand, according to Balkan, the devil is evil, pure evil, and not a misunderstood character shoehorned into subjective narratives. More than an idea needing worship and validation, the devil has no physical form as depicted in countless works of art. Balkan's unmovable interpretations clash with the most classic stories from the Bible. Inevitably, Balkan is betrayed by a forgery. Through his suffering, Balkan's last fleeting thoughts may have felt he was deemed unworthy. Baroness Kessler.
I saw him one day. I was 15 years old, and I saw him as plain as I see you now, cutaway, top hat, cane, very elegant, very handsome. It was love at first sight.
Baroness Kessler is an interesting character who made a small fortune with her one encounter with the devil, or so she believed. Her description of the devil is taken from the script, with additional lines excluded from the film. She portrays a more human depiction that directly contradicts Boris Balkan. Kessler has disdain, rather hatred for Balkan, as they have history together. From one postcard, we can assume they are at least rivals with overlapping ambitions. Kessler's fortune was enough to keep Balkan from influencing her. Much like Balkan, Kessler's passion is history, and had authored several books. Kessler doesn't need her books to finance her lifestyle. While $1 million in sales seems impressive, it isn't that much over 40 years to fund a small office staff in Paris. The Baroness, from her title, is from aristocracy. What more Kessler revealed about the occult is told through her studies of Aristide Torquia, the author of the Book of the Nine Gates.
A courageous man. He died for the sake of this very book. He had spent many years in Prague, a center of the occult. While there he studied the black arts and acquired a copy of the dread Dello Melanicon. This is his adaptation of that work, which was written by Lucifer himself. After they burned him at the stake, a secret society was founded to perpetuate its memory and preserve its secrets, the Brotherhood, a kind of witches' coven. For centuries they have met to read from this book and worship the Prince of Darkness. Today they've degenerated into a social club for bored millionaires. I myself belonged to the Brotherhood many years ago, but time is too precious at my age. I told them to go to the devil.
The Baroness is a unique storyteller because she spills more about other characters than herself, and is in self-exile from her German fatherland. Her loss of arm and health screams conspiracies about her past from early adulthood to finding refuge in Paris. Did the occult have anything to do with her declining health? All we know for certain is that because of that one moment with Lucifer, she celebrated the life of Torquia by belonging to a secret society. However, she outgrew them and what they had become, and took her copy of the book with her. She was likely the second most knowledgeable living person about the book, yet she never noticed the difference of engravings between the three copies. Both she and Balkan were looking for the Devil's Tower, for some common reason. Perhaps they both had their own conflicting ideas on how to communicate with the devil. Maybe the Baroness wanted to see her very handsome man one more time. If you want to hear more alternative theories, I do have a video about Baroness Kessler. The link is in the description below. Lyanna Teler. When it comes to the occult, Lyanna is the witch in witchcraft, at least a modern representation as seen through the lens of Western subjectivity. She dresses in black, relies on seduction to get what she wants, and leads her coven. Lyanna even has a familiar, it's just not a cat. The widow Telfer never makes an exposition about her feelings or associations with the devil. Like old stories of the Salem witch trials, she denies everything and laughs off accusations, though I doubt anyone laughed about it back then. You'll never hear her confess. You'll have to catch her in the act, reciting in dead languages and worshiping alternate idols in secluded locations. Lyanna shows, never tells, and what is said is told secondhand. Baroness Kessler explains most about Lyanna's past. I've taken passages from the screenplay and corrected Lyanna's family name that was changed in the film, where Kessler said of Lyanna,
Andrew Telfer knew nothing of these activities until that creature Lyanna married him for money. She used his dollars to buy the book and renovate her chateau. An old and aristocratic family, the St. Martins, but penniless. They have dabbled in witchcraft for hundreds of years.
What we could gather from Balkan's aggressive criticism of Lyanna is that Lyanna knows more about the book than most, but didn't believe as much as Balkan, or at least didn't want anything more from it than the exciting benefits the coven was giving. And that was likely the money from the rich and gullible, we hope.
As for you, Lyanna de Saint Martin, you're even guiltier than the rest of this pathetic rabble. You have at least some idea of what this book can do in the right hands, yet you lend yourself to these farcical proceedings, these orgies of aging flesh conducted in the Master's name. You're a charlatan.
So, was Lyanna a believer? Or was she cosplaying in order to restore her family estate and legacy? She looked and played the part. Sometimes, too little faith can be just as dangerous as having too much. The girl. In the eyes of many, the girl with the green eyes is the devil herself. For the sake of this video, we're going forward with this theory. I do have an early video about her. The link is in the description. If you want to see me update this subject with a new video, leave a comment below. The girl leaves at least one clue she is a fallen angel when a white feather falls when riding her cycle. She can fly, sort of, but only gracefully falling to earth. Like many descriptions of the devil, is capable of changing shapes and identities. In addition, she has the ability to persuade and seduce. However, unlike many depictions, this devil is not impervious to injury or harm. Either by choice or not, does not flaunt wealth, perhaps has little of it herself. She travels on the cheap, as she explained. This would also mean she cannot transport herself instantaneously from one part of the earth to another. This is even teased on more than a couple occasions. One power she possesses is one of clairvoyance. She seems to predict where Corso will appear and when. I believe she knew about Fargus without being there. The girl showed that she can see the immediate future or maybe the inevitable result. The fates of others that must be played out. It's an often repeated theme, one of free will. God or devil alike leaves man to suffer for his own decisions. What does the inclusion of the girl, as the devil, mean for the characters of the Ninth Gate and their beliefs? It's sort of muddled, and maybe that's the intent. Balkan was wrong about the devil never appearing in physical form. His particular theory could be the reason it was dropped from the film. However, he was right about the engravings that it would open a doorway. Whether or not the girl knew who Balkan was is confusing. There is a line she gives that hints she never heard of him. She was at Balkan's lecture, waiting to see Corso like a time traveler to personally witness an event before it happened. However, the girl was present wherever Balkan was in 3 places: Balkan's tower, Lyanna's chateau, and the castle. Perhaps she was interested enough because Balkan was close to the truth. Then there is Kessler. She was correct that anyone could bump into Lucifer. Coincidence or not, the girl doesn't make an appearance with the Baroness. It's almost as if the devil wasn't interested. In a poetic way, Lyanna's costume party did summon the devil into making an appearance. This would have been everything Lyanna wanted, and she did it before Balkan. But the widow Telfer was a farce, and what she managed to do as a result of her greed, lust, and wrath was to draw the evils of what men do into her home. The devil is not interested in the superficial or anything that mocks her. Then again, she's not going to stop you either. Before we get to our final character, one fleeting mention of Fargus and Andrew Telfer. Fargus was an enthusiastic book collector. He lived for and loved his books. Fargus chose to live in destitution as long as he had his books, some brandy, and his violin. He was never a believer. Andrew Telfer was a man with too much money and a wife too young. The book was just a gift to Lyanna, who took it back from her and sold it to the one man knowing it would give Lyanna grief. Even the most diabolical plans work out after death. Dean Corso. Corso's character arc comes late. Driven by the injustice of having his client's book stolen while under his care, he willingly becomes more invested in the book's mystery after witnessing Lyanna's murder. I will share that the script makes it known that up to the point Corso catches up with Balkan in the tower, he just wanted money. The film replaces his pursuit for a final paycheck with satisfying his curiosity about the book. After so many lives taken, what will be the payoff that makes it worth it all? Though Corso doesn't start worshiping the Prince of Darkness, he's put knowledge above money. Like Balkan, sees books as sources of wisdom. With Balkan and Kessler gone, there is no one left to understand. No one other than Corso, who is one step away from unlocking the book's secrets. With the girl's help, he retraces his steps back to Toledo, replaying his detective work. Instead of doing it for the money, he's doing it for the knowledge. That is exactly what he gets in return. Learning of the true nature of the Siniza brothers and their shop, the genuine 9th engraving drops effortlessly at his feet. Whether he was chosen or it was long his fate, Corso accepted his invitation beyond the 9th gate for the chance to see what many died in agonizing death for just a glimpse of. This is Mr. Giacinji saying, the devil is a man of wealth and taste, yet wants you to guess his name. Check out other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching.